Good evening, Stevens Point. I'm Madison Van Allen.
And I'm Florence Anderson.
This week in SPTV News, Mayor of Stevens Point attended the White House. The annual 90 FM Radio-thon auction event is about to kick off, and Wisconsin voters are on the rocks.
All of this and more when we return.
Tis the season of giving thanks and giving gifts. Toys for Tots is being put on by UWSP's Residential Living this holiday season. Toys for Tots is a program run by the United States Marine Corps Reserve, which distributes toys to children whose parents cannot afford to buy them gifts for Christmas. The organization prides themselves on delivering hope since 1947. The UW Stevens Point Residential Living is collecting toys from November to December for families in need. Toys need to be brand new and in the original packaging without being wrapped. These gifts should be appropriate for ages 12 and under. Over 97% of your donation goes directly to the mission of providing toys, books, and other gifts to less fortunate children. The 3% is sent on support, principally covering fundraising expenses. Not one donated dollar goes to salaries or any other manpower costs. The donation bin is located in the main entrance of the Residential Living office at 601 Division Street. The Rotary Club of Greater Portage County coordinates the Toys for Tots toy drive in cooperation with Operation Bootstrap and Salvation Army. If you are one of the first to donate on campus, you will receive a coupon to the local bakery shop Zest. For more information on how you can donate, you can contact UWSP Residential Living or visit their website. They are looking to make this year the most successful yet.
The College of Natural Resources is kicking off the final weeks of the semester with 2 days of full education on climate change and soil science. Leading it off is a showing of the film Between Earth and Sky, Climate Change on the Last Frontier. The film analyzes the effects of climate change on Native Alaskans and their Arctic environment. The college will also be hosting 2 guest lecturers. The morning session will provide students insight into the daily work of soil scientists, led by Jackson Namachek, a Wisconsin State soil scientist, and Chris Miller, a MLRA soil survey leader from USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service. In the second presentation, USDA soil scientist Andrea Williams will be describing a soil surveying and mapping project in Alaska. The film will be taking place on Monday, December 2nd at 6 p.m. in the DUC Theater. Both of the presentations will be located in room 120 in the Trainer Natural Resource Building on Tuesday, December 3rd. The first session will begin at 9 a.m. and the second will start at 6 p.m. All of these events are free to UWSP students. To receive more information on these environmental and educational opportunities, you can check out the College of Natural Resources spin page.
The Office of International Education is having an information session on the National Student Exchange Program and how to get involved. We go to Austin Lepak, who took a closer look at this story.
On Wednesday, the Study Abroad Office hosted an information session for students interested in learning more about the National Student Exchange Program and how they could get involved with spending a semester at a different university. The program allows students of good academic standing to choose from over 170 different universities throughout the U.S., its territories, as well as Canada, to spend a semester at. 2 students who have participated in the program, Heidi and Jaden, presented their experiences with the program. Heidi Putnam explained why this was such a profound and important experience for her in hopes that it encourages more students.
Well, it's a good way to be able to experience another place, but cheaply. So a lot of students, in college, we don't have a whole lot of money. When you see, study abroad, it looks really amazing, you can go all these different places, but it usually has a really big price tag with it. For both Jaden and myself, the National Student Exchange Program was a way that we could travel cheaply. We only spent about $1,000 more than we did to go spend a semester here in Wisconsin. If you ever want to go somewhere different and you want to do it for the same price as Point or cheaper, think about NSE. I've done a lot of world traveling. I've been to over, I think it's now 21 countries, I believe that I've been to now. So I've been to more countries than I have states, yet my Alaska experience I think would be number one on my list out of all places I've been in the world so far.
Sometimes the greatest adventures are closer to home than you think. For SPTV, this has been Austin Lepak.
Thanks, Austin. To find out more about the International Exchange Program, go to the Office of International Education's website or visit their office in DUC room 203 or the Albertson Center for Learning Resources, room 503.
UWSP's continuing education is offering students tips and tricks on strengthening their leadership skills by hosting an evaluating and maximizing employee performance workshop. This is the second session in the 2019 to 2020 Leadership Certificate Program. It focuses on teaching future managers how to transform employee performances appraisals into collaborative conversations that offer employees an honest evaluation of their work. Presenter Lynn Ludwig, a UWSP Associate Professor of English, will be leading the workshop. Activities will include learning how to effectively communicate performance goals, identifying strategies to improve company morale, and role-playing discussions between employees and managers. The session will be taking place on Friday, December 6th in the Legacy Room from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. The event is open to UWSP students for $45. Registration is due at least 5 days before the individual workshop. For more information, visit the UWSP Continuing Education and Outreach website.
Stevens Point Mayor Mike Wiesa attended the White House on November 13th in Washington, D.C. Wiesa was one of 34 mayors who were invited to the nation's capital to attend a conference on housing. The focus was on housing across the nation, but a lot of attention was to Wisconsin, according to the Stevens Point City Council press release. Also stated in the press release was a report on how Wisconsin is producing fewer housing units. The report was commissioned by the Wisconsin Realtors Association and written by Dr. Kurt Paulson of the University of Wisconsin. The report says in the years following the Great Recession, Wisconsin has seen 55% fewer housing units produced annually. Mayor Wiesa was also chosen as one of the 5 people to sit at the round table and discuss and examine this issue more. To find out more about the conference and all things concerning the city, visit Stevens Point City website.
Last Wednesday, CASE's 4th Coffee and Culture of the semester was held in the Laird Room of the DUC. In the past, they've spoken about subjects such as healthy relationships and about queerness and culture. This time around, the theme is Cinderella Goes to College, or how privilege affects the college experience. I caught up with the group to take a closer look. On Wednesday, November 20th, CASE held their final Coffee and Culture of the semester. The night's topic was Cinderella Goes to College, a metaphor for the privilege of wealth in college. Returning students Sam Barkley and Wyatt Flem-Wellen spoke on their childhoods and poverty and all the privileges they lost out on because of it. Barkley expanded more on the effect of poverty in college, mentioning the expense of the ACT, SAT, AP tests, and clubs as a large contributing factor to their struggle, not only in their education, but also with their peers.
But, I couldn't afford to take those tests. That was just like I couldn't afford to join any extracurriculars that would look lovely on your resume. Trying to relate to your peers and how they grew up is kind of tough, and there are also fees for several clubs on campus here.
Barkley continued as they dived deeper into everything poverty can affect.
You end up making decisions based on where you live, how you live, what you eat, what clubs you join, depending on what time they meet, if you have to work at that time, or if they have a club fee. It affects your friendships a lot too, and your romantic life as well.
More information on upcoming Coffee and Cultures can be found through CASE, including how to apply to become a Coffee and Culture speaker. This has been Florence Anderson with SPTV News. This Coffee and Culture was the last one of the semester. However, students can look forward to 3 Coffee and Culture events throughout the spring 2020 semester.
The holiday season is about giving back and helping others. The American Red Cross is making it easy and rewarding for donors by sharing their support. Starting November 18th until December 18th, the Red Cross will be giving a $5 Amazon gift card via email to all donors for giving blood, courtesy of Suburban Propane. To find a blood drive near you, head over to the Red Cross webpage and type in your zip code. Pre-donation reading and health questions can be done in about 15 minutes online and make your visit shorter. As always, donors will receive important health information after getting a mini health screening that includes blood pressure, pulse, and hemoglobin readings. For more information on the blood drive, visit Red Cross website.
That's all the stories we have for you tonight.
Coming up next, we have Michael with SPTV Sports. We'll be back after the break.
Wengrzyn, the 7th largest book printer in North America, is hiring students for the semester. We are 100% employee-owned and located right here in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. All shifts currently hiring, with jobs starting at $10.80 an hour. Hours are flexible. For more information, contact the Wengrzyn HR department.
Welcome back. After winning the first 2 rounds, the UWSP volleyball team's NCAA tournament run came to an end in the Sweet 16 against the College of St. Benedict on Saturday in Minnesota. The Bennies jumped out to an early 2-0 lead over the Pointers, but the Dogs would battle back, winning the next 2 sets to force a decisive 5th set. The hopes of completing the comeback were gone as the Bennies took the final set and advanced to the quarterfinals in the tournament. In her final match, senior April Gaya recorded a double-double with 32 kills and 25 digs, while junior Ellie Adams had a double-double with 56 assists and 11 digs. Gale ends her 4-year career with 1,900 kills, the most in program history, and had 675 this season, which is also a record for most kills in a single season for the volleyball program. The Pointers finished their season with an overall record of 28 wins and 9 losses. The UWSP soccer team also saw their NCAA tournament run come to an end on Saturday in a first-round loss to Adrian College. The game would be quite a battle as neither team scored in regulation, and the game would have to be settled in overtime. One overtime period was not enough as it would take a second overtime period before the Bulldogs scored the game winner and ended the Pointers' season. UWSP had a few chances to capitalize during the match with 5 corner kick opportunities, but couldn't put the pieces together. The Pointers finished their season with an overall record of 11-5-3. The Pointers basketball teams are back on the court this season. The women's team faced their first 3 opponents on the road and are ready to get more of their season underway. SPTV's Rachel Ellis stepped onto the court to meet with the team as they prepare for their first home game of the season.
I'm standing in front of Berg Gym, home to the UWSP women's basketball team, and the ladies are back with a vengeance to take on the 2019 season. This year, the team faces the challenges that come with having a younger roster. So far, they've had 3 games on the road, and they're ready to take their game home to point. The program has its home opener tonight, and they're ready to do what it takes to secure a win for their fans.
The lineup this year is mainly underclassmen, so Coach Eigner is really putting the emphasis on team chemistry and reliability.
Our job is to try to bring our new players with our returners and form a team bond. And what's unique about this year is we have 1 senior, 4 juniors, and then all the rest are underclassmen. So it's been an interesting time for us to formulate that team bond. Our kids have responded extremely well. They work together extremely well, and you know, they're just a great group of women to be around.
Having such a young team can be challenging, but the Pointers are ready to pass, shoot, and score their way to a successful season.
But with a young team to go on the road, come out of the week 2-1, I was really happy with our competitive spirit. I thought we played hard. Out of the 120 minutes, I would say 110 of those were really good.
Team chemistry is strong as the Pointers are 2-1 on the season. Senior Carly Serrato is excited to start her final season with the team and be a leader to her teammates.
This season I'm really excited for because the people that we have back played a lot of minutes for us last year, so we have a lot of experience in our starters this year, which is really good. We've been young for the past couple of years, so we have a strong start, and then we have some really strong players coming off the bench for us as well, and battling with us at practice. That helps us in games. So yeah, I'm excited.
This has been Rachel Ellis reporting for SPTV Sports.
The Pointers came away with the win for their home opener, beating Lakeland College by a score of 57-50. Their next game is this Saturday at North Central College in Naperville, Illinois. The game begins at 5 p.m. Looking at the gridiron now, the UWSP football team fell to UW La Crosse 34-17 in the season finale on Saturday at Gorky Field. The Pointers and Eagles would both score a touchdown on their first offensive series, but both teams would have troubles with turning the ball over in the first half. Midway through the third quarter, the Eagles held a 14-point lead before Pointers cornerback Matt Hermansky threw a touchdown pass to wide receiver Jonte Webb to make it a one-score game. However, La Crosse would score off a couple UWSP turnovers in the fourth quarter to put the game out of reach. In his final game, Hermansky threw for 330 yards and 2 touchdowns, but also had 3 interceptions as well. While the UWSP defense forced 3 UWL turnovers, the Pointers had 5 turnovers of their own on the day. The Pointers finished their season 3-7 overall and 2-5 in conference play. That's it for sports this week. Next up is Theo Meyer with entertainment. Thanks for kicking it with me. I'm Michael Wengrzyn for SPTV Sports.
UW Stevens Point is home.
It's a university where professors know your name and get you involved in research.
They inspire us to realize big dreams.
At UW Stevens Point, sustainability is what we stand for.
Our beautiful campus encourages exploration, developing new fields, and problem solving for the real world.
It's a great place to launch your career.
UW Stevens Point is home.
Apply today at uwsp.edu.
Welcome back, Pointers. Traditional songs to movie themes. This is what entails the concert of UWSP Campus and Band and Campus Orchestra on Monday, December 2nd. The orchestra will play some of the songs, such as Galileic Trilogy and Celtic Roots by Soon He Newbold, and some current favorites of the theme of Jurassic Park and Avengers movies. The orchestra is directed by Anna Cromwell, assistant professor and violin and viola. The campus band will perform Knights of Dunvegan by Richard Meyer and Israeli Anthem, Fanfare for a Third Planet by Richard Saucedo. Tickets are $15 for adults and $10 for UWSP faculty, students, and youth. And free the day of for UWSP students with their ID. Tickets are available at the DUC Information and Tickets Desk. The favorite award show for the music in Hollywood, the American Music Awards, will premiere this Sunday, the 24th. The show will bring all types of music from pop and rock to jazz and R&B. This award show is recognizing all kinds and everyone involved in their work in the music industry and letting the fans decide who wins. A Grammy Award winner, 2-1 AMA nomination, Sierra, is leveling up this show as this year's host. Many performers include the Jonas Brothers, Lizzo, Thomas Rhett, Selena Gomez, and many more. Taylor Swift will not only perform but she will also be receiving the Artist of the Decade award. There has been some drama with her old record label, Big Machine Records and Scooter Braun, on being able to perform her old songs or not for this. Being able to perform the old songs or not for this upcoming special performance. According to E! News, at the moment, they have came up with a deal and she's able to perform her old songs. The red carpet starts at 5 p.m. on E! Network on ABC, with the show starting at 7 p.m. on ABC Network. The UWSP 90 FM will be hosting a radio-thon, a fundraiser to help support the radio station and also produce future events and opportunities for students across the campus. SPTV's Jake Zahn spins by the station to see what it's all about.
WWSP 90 FM will be running their annual fundraiser Radio-thon on Saturday, December 7th through Sunday, December 8th. The weekend-long event will not only help support the station, but also allows them to produce their other special events, such as Trivia 51 and the 24-hour tribute weekend.
Radio-thon is the annual on-air auction that we host on our station as a fundraiser, in which we gather donations from local businesses and we auction them off on air in order to fundraise money to help support pay for our equipment or our specialty programming and all sorts of things like that. So all of the money goes towards helping out our station. It's a really huge way to not only fundraise for the station and make sure that we have, a solid amount of donations and money to help support our programming as well as, afford our equipment. But it's also a really good way for us to have connections with local businesses in Stevens Point and the local areas surrounding it as well, like Marshfield and Wausau and places like that. Because it keeps us in touch with our local areas and it keeps us relevant to the community right alongside helping out our station as well.
Teresa also goes into why the public should donate to the cause.
We don't just host the world's largest trivia contest. We have other specialty events that we host, and we really try to make our mark in the community, and we really try to get people to listen and support local radio. It's really important for local businesses. We appreciate their donations so much, and it's so essential that their help is just, it's like even something small is such a huge impact to a local radio station and to getting students involved in broadcasting and analog radio. So
The fundraiser will be live streamed through TuneIn Radio and for the first time ever on Twitch. I'm Jake Zahn reporting, and this is SPTV News.
For more information, please visit 90FM's Facebook page. The most prestigious recording academy in the world for the music industry just released their nominees for the 62nd annual award show. The Grammy's new hot artist Lizzo has the most nominations with 8, including some major categories like Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Album of the Year, and Best New Artist. Billie Eilish and Lil Nas X closely behind with 6 nominations and also nominated for some of those major categories. According to E! News, people think Taylor Swift was snubbed with not having Lover, her 7th studio album, for Album of the Year or Record of the Year. The Grammys is all about recognizing every person involved in making this art, from the song lyrics and sound mixing to the score of popular movies and performances. It will all go down on January 26th of next year with Alicia Keys as the host. That's all the entertainment stories we have for you this week. Coming up next is Claude with Pointer Politics. I'm Theo Meyer with SPTV News.
Welcome back, Pointers. Taking a look at some state news, according to AP News on Tuesday, November 19th, the Andrew Goodman Foundation filed a federal lawsuit to challenge Wisconsin's student voter identification requirements. The foundation is a group that helps promote student voting across Wisconsin. Within the lawsuit, the foundation is alleging that the requirements for students need to meet in order to vote are vague and could stop young adults from voting, which violates the 26th Amendment. The lawsuit has named members of the Wisconsin Elections Commissions as the defendants, and Commission spokesman Reed Mengi did not immediately respond to an email sent on Wednesday for a comment, according to AP News. A new CNN Des Moines Register Media.com poll of Iowa shows 60% of Republican voters say impeachment is a political winner for Trump's reelection. A smaller percentage, but still a plurality of Iowa Democrats, 45%, think it will be easier for their party to win in 2020. CNN's Miguel Marquez is looking at how impeachment is playing out in another swing state, Wisconsin.
Third-generation farmer Greg Lohr.
Every cow has a place to lay down.
On the fence.
In 2020, what are you going to do? Still undecided.
Dairy cows and harvesting an already late crop, a bigger worry than impeachment.
I think they should just forget about that and just worry about the issues at hand and try to help people. I mean, there's going to be a new election in another year, I guess.
On impeachment, Sauk County, Wisconsin, northwest of Madison, divided as ever. Farmland and picture postcard towns where the Ringling Brothers got their start. In 2016, candidate Trump won this rural county by 109 votes. Doris Lohr is an independent who supported Hillary Clinton. She dislikes the president but isn't sure there's enough to remove him from office.
You know, we need to be unified. We need to be, we're not making progress in America. We're going downhill.
The county's divisions, obvious at a regular Democratic protest of the president. They get support, as much as thumbs down, among other less polite gestures. Mike and Carrie Walker, co-owners of the Touchdown Tavern, both describe themselves as moderate conservatives. Both voted third party in 2016. She's opposed to abortion rights, but is considering a Democrat.
Can either of you see yourselves voting for a Democrat in 2020? And which one, if so? Boy, that was a pained expression.
It is pain. I will tell you, I love Andrew Yang.
Obviously, he's very smart.
Oh, and he's funny.
On impeachment, they haven't decided whether the president crossed the line.
I don't think it's a witch hunt. I don't think it's a waste of taxpayer dollars. I think we need to go through this.
Veteran, business owner, and independent voter Greg Snell says he doesn't like Trump, but impeachment?
Well, I believe it's a pretty drastic step. Whether I like the man or not is immaterial. You know, impeachment that's pretty drastic.
Dan Shea lives paycheck to paycheck. He voted for Trump. Now, so disillusioned, he switched parties.
Where is Sauk County right now?
A toss-up. He's going to have to come here, work his butt off, and try to win this state back.
Both parties are going to fight for Sauk County and Wisconsin heavily. The Democrats have their convention in the state. The Republicans say it's trending more conservative. At the end of the day, the way the Electoral College is shaping up, those 10 electoral votes in the state could decide who sits in the Oval Office. A House committee is preparing to hear more testimony in the impeachment inquiry. This comes after a key witness implicated President Trump, Vice President Mike Pence, and several others in the quid pro quo scandal. CNN's Suzanne Melville reports.
Gordon Sondland started with a very blunt admission.
Was there a quid pro quo? The answer is yes.
And the U.S. ambassador to the European Union says many at the highest levels of President Trump's inner circle knew about it. Sondland implicates Vice President Mike Pence, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Energy Secretary Rick Perry, and Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney.
Everyone was in the loop. It was no secret.
Sondland telling House investigators that President Trump directed him to work with Rudy Giuliani, who orchestrated the deal, conditioning Ukraine's nearly $400 million in military aid and a possible meeting at the White House with announcing investigations into his political rivals.
We did not want to work with Mr. Giuliani. Simply put, we were playing the hand we were dealt. Mr. Giuliani's requests were a quid pro quo for arranging a White House visit for President Zelensky.
Democrats say the abuse of power is clear.
It goes right to the heart of the issue of bribery, as well as other potential high crimes or misdemeanors.
Republicans maintain the president's innocence.
No one on this planet told you that President Trump was tying aid to investigations. Yes or no?
Yes.
So, you really have no testimony today that ties President Trump to a scheme to withhold aid from Ukraine in exchange for these investigations.
Other than my own presumption.
Which is nothing.
In the second hearing of the day, top Pentagon official Laura Cooper debunking a Republican defense of the president, testifying Ukrainian officials knew there were problems with their military aid on July 25th, the same day as Trump's phone call with Ukraine's president.
I would say that specifically the Ukrainian embassy staff asked what is going on with Ukrainian security assistance.
President Trump emerging from the White House fighting back, reading off a marker-filled note card.
So here's my answer. I want nothing. I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo.
But House Democrats feel their abuse of power case against the president is getting stronger.
Remember, the most damning words come from the president himself. So regardless of what he told Ambassador Sondland or really anybody else, the president's own words are damning to him.
More officials will testify Thursday morning in front of the House committee. That's all the political news we have for you this week. Now back to Madison and Florence. I've been Claudia Neve with SPTV Politics.
Thanks, Claude. Well, that's all the news we have for you this week in SPTV News.
Until next time, have a great night, Stevens Point.